This is question 49 on chemistry from the 2018 NSAA. So you're told that 3 mixtures of amino acids were separated with paper chromatography. It then gives you a table of the various amino acids that could be in the mixtures and their corresponding RF values. You're also given the picture of the chromatogram, or the results of the experiment. And finally, you're asked which of these statements are correct. Mixture P contains valine and glycine. Leucine is present in all 3 mixtures. Glutamic acid is the least mobile of all the acids. And P and Q both contain asparagine. So firstly, it's important that we know what this RF value means. Can you remember the formula for it? So RF equals the distance travelled by the spot, that's any of these, divided by the distance travelled by the solvent, which is represented by the solvent front here. Now there's a way of making this quite simple for ourselves, based on the scale that's given to us. Can you spot it? So the solvent front is 10 of these increments up, which means that we can call this just 1 and have increments going up like this. And this would mean that the distance travelled by the spot divided by the solvent, which is just the same as divided by 1, gives us the RF straight away. So for example, we can read off this as about 0.6, and that's the RF value of this spot here. So let's look at each of the statements. Firstly, it says mixture P contains valine and glycine. So we're looking out for an RF value of 0.61 or 0.26. Can we see this in mixture P? So this spot here looks like it's probably around the 0.26 mark, and this spot here looks like it's around the 0.61 mark. So we can say that 0.1 is correct. Secondly, number 2 says leucine is present in all 3 amino acids. So we're looking out for this 0.71 RF value. Now, 0.71 will be about here. We can't see it in P, but we can in Q and R, but it's not in all 3, so number 2 is wrong. Next, we're told that glutamic acid is the least mobile. What does that mean? Well, it's going to have the smallest RF value, because that means it's gone the smallest distance compared to the solvent front over the time. So glutamic acid has an RF of 0.3, but we can see that glycine is even smaller at 0.26. So we can say that number 3 is wrong as well. Finally, point 4 tells us that P and Q both contain asparagine. So what are we looking out for? Asparagine has an RF value of 0.5, and can we see this in mixtures P and Q? Well, 0.5 is about here. We've got a spot there for P and a spot there for Q. So we can say that 0.4 is correct. So our final answer of 1 and 4 being correct corresponds to B on the question paper.